dance music. To Clubhouse dance music.
I see you in my memories, and I'm dreaming of your touch. I miss you lying next to me. I still want you so much. The way that you made love to me, I thought our love was real. Was it just a fantasy? The way you made me feel. I've got to know the reason why you had to go, but I'll keep on believing. I've got to let you. I cry for love. No, I just can't believe this love is dying. I cry for love. Oh, oh. Girl, listen to my heart and hear my cries. I cry for Hold on. Yeah, we'll put our dreams together, baby. Hold on. Yeah, make it last forever. I cry for love. I just can't believe this love is dying. I cry for love. Girl, listen to my heart and hear my cries. I cry for love. Make it last forever. If only you would listen to my heart. I cry for love. These feelings you can hide it in your eyes. You're crying for love.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse Podcast. A very special edition of the show as we jam freestyle in New England and now the world. We have a very special guest coming up at the bottom of the hour is the one and only George LaMond, and we're going to be talking lots and lots of freestyle stuff right here. Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse Podcast. It's coming up at the bottom of the hour. Right now, it's for George LaMond. It's Where Does That Leave Love 2.0 right here on Clubhouse. Whenever you are near, I can finally see the mystery of love in your eyes. It's
man's heart one day beats its final beat. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, then his essence, his spirit, will be immortalized forever.
Baby, I'm loving the way that you hold me. I'm high off the things that you told me. You got me feeling like I'm your number one. I don't want the kind of love that's temporary. All I want, I want a legendary love.
Clubhouse Dance Music.
Dance music.
You listen to me, you go to the top. You don't listen to me, you're never heard from again.
I change the question.
190.7 FM, WTCC. Welcome to Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse podcast. Our very special guest this week is George LaMond. George, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's truly an honor to have you here. Something I've been looking forward to for many years. And again, the fans are excited. The listeners are already tuned in and they're ready. So let's talk about the brand new song, Cry for Love. Why did you revisit this song one more time? Why was it so important for you to re-record this?
Well, I love the song that Jason Tomi did because he was my label mate at the time when we were both signed to Lagosa Records. He released it in 91. And it was, I'm not sure, you might know, I think it was his only release on Lagosa. Am I correct? Am I wrong?
Yes. He later released another song. It was on a smaller record. It wasn't a 12-inch. It was like a 45 single. It was really cool. But it was like a limited edition. But it wasn't on Lagosa. It was on his own.
It wasn't on Lagosa.
Yeah, independent label. But yeah, that was the only song that he ever released on Lagosa. A classic song that many of the freestyle fans out there love and adore. And then
And I was one of them. I remember when we used to go back to the office back in Park Avenue. I remember I'm like, dude, you got a great song, you know. And I mean, John Bastianelli and Larry, like, they write some great songs, and I remember that song really, really well. So I never got the time of day. I don't think it got the time of day that it should have. And I was never happy with the production. And when we redid it again back in '92 on my second album. I didn't like the production. You know, I understand what Chris and Mark were trying to go after. They were trying to go after that "Gonna Make You Sweat" type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I never thought that it got the freestyle frame that it should have had. And I wanted to take it, and I called Jay Allen, and I told him I need you to do a remix on something. And he submitted the track. You know, 95% of the credit goes to James Allen. He's the one that pretty much did the whole track.
Yeah, and let me just say, I'm truly proud. He's our own. You know, he's a friend, a label mate. You know, we've done projects together. I know a few years back when he released "You Are the One" with my independent label, you blessed it and you shared it and you supported it. And I know that he's been producing for you for a while, and I'm just very proud of the fact that he's come a long way, all the way from Connecticut, and now, you know, just producing just the best of the best in the business.
Yeah, he's really, 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 I mean, he underrated. A lot of people really don't know, but the guy is very talented. Not only, I mean, look, freestyle is not easy to do. Everyone thinks they can do it. If it was that easy, you would have more songs on the radio, more fans listening for stuff. But that's why they go to listen to some of the old stuff. But he reinvented the sound, and he kind of kept it. He kept a little bit of the old school, and But he has his own style. He's also great at other stuff, ballads, hip hop, reggaeton.
Absolutely.
The guy does it all.
The great part about Jay is that he can replicate anything just by listening to it. He can actually produce something just on the top of his head, and he gets many ideas from different forms of music and just brings it into our own music freestyle, which is what we should have been doing all along.
Yeah, I agree. But I remember when I got it, the shout out to Josie from G1E, may he rest in peace, because that was the team back then.
Absolutely,
yeah. I remember I got it and I liked it, but it needed, mixing is just another animal, and mixing is where I come in. I learned from Chris Barbosa, Mark Liggett, and Jerry Lane and Tommy Uzo, and I sat in those sessions, and I've adapted a really good ear for mixing. This was one of the songs that me and Carlos Barrios, we sat down and I was going to get Tommy to do it, and then I said, I remember I was doing vocals. I didn't like the vocals that we had did the original vocals with Giuseppe. I did it at a studio. What happened was I was recording. I wasn't happy with my tone and my voice because I didn't realize I was getting the flu.
Right.
So I didn't know that, and I remember when I heard it, I'm like, I'm just not crazy about it. Next year I got the flu, and then I told Carlos, I got some new mics. I would like to redo the vocals in your house. So I got my own recording studio here in my place. So I went over to his house and I said, you want to take a crack at it and mixing it, and we sat down and we mixed the crap out of this record. We really took it to another level. We kind of changed the drums a little bit. I already told Jay that I said we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to add some stuff. We're going to take away some stuff, and we redid it. And it just sounded. We really worked our butt off on this record. We wanted to have that quality sound that records of this nature should have. They should have, and I think we knocked out the park.
The best part is people were asking me, are there 3 different versions of the song? And because on the credits this is Jay Adams, Carlos Barrios, and Giuseppe D. And what people don't understand, it was 3 of those 3 men that put this song together for you.
Exactly, that's what it is. When you upload records to iTunes, it's not like back in the old days where you read the back of the record and you get to read all the credits. Now it's just the label name, the name of the artist, what type of music, and the title of the record.
Right.
So, like homage to them, I said I want them on the credit because they're part of this as I am. So I called it a remix because everyone knows that this record was already out, and this was Jay Allen's version, and I loved it too. Carlos Barrios got on there. He did just as much work as Giuseppe and myself, so I threw them all in there, and
that's awesome.
Funny thing is now I have people that want to do remixes, and I'm going to release a new CD version of remixes. I think Frankie Cutlass is on board so far. Carlos Barrios is on board.
Excellent.
I'm waiting on Todd Terry.
Nice.
And I'm also going to release an acapella because I don't know whether to release acapella dry or acapella reverb, because I know a lot of these guys can add their own reverb and stuff today.
Yeah, we have a lot of talented people out there that would love to remix one of your songs and to use your vocals, just like the back in the day when they had the acapellas on the records and you would just mix it with different beats, and I miss that.
Yeah, they have percapellas. They had a lot of reverb on them, and they had a little bit of percussion, but I would release just a vocal dry with no effects at all, so that they can add their own delays and do whatever they want to have some fun with it.
Yeah, they could create EDM versions, and people can add some hip hop, and just make it just a new sound, a new way of presenting your music to all generations.
Exactly.
So you've been also releasing some of the catalog titles that you had previously. You released What Does That Leave Love 2.0. Why have you taken the time to start taking some of your catalog to start re-releasing some of these songs again in 2018?
Well, last year, you couldn't find that song on there for some such reason. I think Columbia has some sort of issues, contractual issues, and I don't know what the legalities about it, but you couldn't find that song on there. I remember I was trying to find it. You couldn't find it. You can't even find Ya Lo Sé Que Tú Te Vas.
Right.
So I took it upon myself to, before I get any older and I can't sing anymore like the way I used to, just put it on there. The fans need a new digital copy of it, although I'm a huge fan of analog and tape, I have all the necessities to record it new, so why don't I just do it? And the fan base is just growing bigger, and they want to have this on Spotify and on Pandora and on iTunes and on YouTube, you know. So I just released it. So I started putting different catalogs of version of songs that I want the fans are huge fanatics about, and they can't get their hands on it. So there's going to be more coming out. I'm working on Distant Heart, a new rendition of Distant Heart.
Wow.
I don't believe Distant Heart ever got the time of day. You know, I've always, Someone Like You has always been a favorite song, one of the favorite songs of mine. That never got the light of day, you know.
Right.
And
that's one of my favorites as well. I also love Just in Time. I'm not sure why. I just love that break is so dope. I don't know. I love it.
That was Chris Barbosa, man. He wrote that and produced that whole himself, man. He killed it.
He put that James Brown in the middle, man. It just killed it for me.
Yeah. And I remember we did that out of his apartment back in Brooklyn when he lived here. He lives in Florida now. But I remember he did that all from scratch. That was the first freestyle track he did on his own without Mark Liggett, without no arrangers. He did it all himself.
Now, are you worried about labels? Because people call you the King of Freestyle, the Bad Boy of Freestyle. They have a lot of different monikers for you. Are you concerned with being the King of Freestyle?
No, I don't care. I really don't care what they title me. It sounds great when they do. I mean, I'm not going to tell them not to. You know, when they announce on the stage, that was what they would call me. I mean, it is. But I believe DVB is the king. The guy is just, he can sell out anywhere he goes. If you don't put DVB on a show, then what is a freestyle show? You know, I mean, he definitely gives it that star quality. I've always said it, and I still say to this day, he's the king. But if you wanna, call me the king, I'll take it. You know, it's all good. Look, we all have names for other people that we come up with, and you can't control the world. The world is gonna do what it wants to do, and if it happens organically, let it happen organically. If they want to call me the pain in the butt, let them call me the pain in the butt. So it doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is when I get on stage and I give the fans exactly what they came to hear.
And that I can tell you is amazing. I've had the pleasure of watching you perform on dozens of occasions, and it never gets old to me. You know, it's just like current. When you do Where Does That Leave Love, I kind of break down a little bit because that's my favorite song from your catalog. You know, but I get all emotional, start singing with you like I sound like you. It's pretty embarrassing. You don't want to see me do
it. Wow,
you
can sound like me?
No, I sound like you probably when I'm showering and I have you, I have to dial at 10, you know what I mean? The speakers.
I got you.
You know,
you got that auto-tune cranking.
Yeah, I don't something. But, the thing is that all male artists, freestyle artists, any aspiring new school freestyle artists, they all want to be George LaMond. I mean, they tailor their careers to you. You know, they want to be like you. How do you feel about that? All these artists that have been inspired by you.
You know, Jose, honestly, I'm not even lying to you, man. I don't think about it. I really don't think about it. You know, it's flattering. I love it. It humbles me. But I just know what I need to do when I get on stage. That's what was given to me. And I don't know, man. I become a totally different person when I'm on stage. I really do, because I can be a cranky son of a bee. Especially all these years of performing since I was 20 and I'm 51 now, and traveling around the world and dealing with different personalities of people, and it's hard on the mind. But when I get on stage, it's like everything just turns white, and it's like a canvas, and it's just like a new paint, like a new artwork that I get to paint, a new canvas that I get to paint. And that's why it always sounds different, because I feed off the energy of the crowd. I really do. That's why my show is never the same.
Yeah,
I try to change it.
I had Frankie J on the show here after you did your 25th anniversary, and of course I'm playing right now the 25th anniversary of Battle of the Heart. And man, what a great song! What a great combination to hear you both together. I know that he idolized you, you know what I mean? And for you to invite him on stage and to share the stage with you, and George Anthony and all these people, they were just ecstatic about being part of your 25th anniversary.
Yeah, that was a great experience, man. I learned a lot from that one. That was my first time actually co-producing that whole concert, and it was kind of tough, but we got it off the ground. We could have used a little bit more rehearsal, as I'm a perfectionist, but it came out really, really great. And the fact that Frankie came all the way from the West Coast, and he just said, just tell me when and where. You know, I mean, that was just flattering. And he came in humble as ever. The guy got platinum records, gold records. He had tons of hit songs, and he just said, "Sure, no problem, man. Just whatever, bro. I'll come over." You know, so.
But he started in freestyle, you know, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, Frankie Boy, right?
He idolized you, yeah, Frankie Boy, Frankie J, and you know, you could hear the influence in those songs that he recorded in freestyle, where you hear that, you get that George LaMond vibe.
Yeah. The funny thing with me was one of the problems that I had growing up is that I was trying to sound like everybody else. I remember listening to Mark Anthony before Mark Anthony was even signed to a record label, and he would do demos. And we would be in the studio together, and I would hear him saying, I'm like, man, I want to sound like him. Mm-hmm. He sounds like the Spanish Don Henley, you know, and I wanted to get that raspy. I used to sing like with the raspiness, and then I would hear someone like Naomi, and I'm like, man, I want to belt like her. And I never found my niche, and I was bothered me that I'm like, I sound like a little, you know, girl every time I sang because I was so high pitchy. And being from the Bronx, you know, you want to have this bravado, a Latino bravado, but my voice used to bother me growing up, and I was trying to make it sound like somebody else. And come to find out a couple of years later that Chris was like, George, that's just your signature, and you don't sound like nobody else. You sound like you.
Let me tell you,
kind of cool.
Every Saturday morning, man, my mom got George LaMond on, Que Te Vas, you know, she's a salsera. And let me tell you, man, she just got your albums playing Saturday mornings, man. She lives on the second floor. I live on the third. You know, I love having my mom on the second floor, but man, she makes more noise than anyone in the whole entire house.
And I bet you that's when she's cleaning the house, she's sweeping up and out. She's like, she got that salsa playing in the back.
You know, she says it all the time. Tu hablas con mi novio. I'm like, Mom, I can't tell him that. You know what I mean? But, you know, so shout out going to my mom. She loves George LaMond. And you know, all the young ladies too, George, man, I got the chat room full of ladies that, you know, just love your music, and they logged in early to listen to your interview, and I'm truly excited about having you on. And again, thank you.
I appreciate it.
For a short period of time, you were a member of TKA. It was like TKG. How was that experience?
To be honest, it was amazing at the beginning, and then I see why groups crumble. You know, I've always been a team player. I've always been someone that you need a foundation. You can't do it all on your own. And anybody that says they could do it, I guess, you know, is BS. I mean, everyone needs help. Everyone has a team. And it was a dream of mine when they called me to tell me. And at first, I wanted to make sure that, you know, everybody was cool. And I remember I reached out to Angel. I gave him a call, and, you know, because I think Avery was already out, and I called Angel, and he was like, yeah, man, it's all good. And we went in, and I was willing to take, you know, the back seat. I'm like, you know, this is your legacy. You guys lead me, and, you know, I'll be your sixth player, you know. And I went in, and it was great at the beginning, and then I saw things break apart, and communication was weird, and everyone had their own management, and everyone had their own cliques, and I was like, you know, and I don't even think Kay or Tony know this, but I didn't like what I was seeing, and I kind of like, you know, it kind of wound up ending early, which was a blessing maybe, but we had a full album already recorded, a new that was never released, and I think Sergio George, I went to Sergio George's house, and he signed the record. And, you know, Kay, you know, I love you. He's going to kill me. And Tony, too, I love you, too. But that day I came back, and I got us a record deal. And that always bothered me. And for whatever reason, you know, after we tried to talk with amongst all three, it wound up turning out that the album wasn't going to be released, and that killed me. I think that kind of messed up my relationship with Sergio George, because me and Sergio George were really good friends. When he heard that record, he says, I played 3 songs. He goes, I love it. Let's do it. That's how simple it was. I would have got a Sony deal with me, Tony, and Kay. But after we discussed it, the decision was not to record the album.
Wow.
For whatever reasons, I know, I'd just rather not say. But it was heartbreaking, and I remember not getting any more phone calls from Sergio and George. And
that sucks. That really does, because Sergio George is the man.
He's the man. It's like Quincy Jones. Like, talking to Quincy Jones, he's like, dude, you know what? You had to deal with me, and you just, like, niched me. You know what? Don't even call me anymore.
Wow.
So
in 2018, what is your stance on this whole TKA thing? I know that we discussed it briefly. You could be as short as you like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know that TK is Tony, for GK is KL, and A is for AB, Joey Gardner. Stein. Those are the 3 that were left after Spider and La India. And am I missing somebody?
Yeah, you're probably missing a few others.
No, I said Spider, the original Spider, India.
Yeah, you said Angel, AB, Tony.
AB, yeah, I said yeah. No, Angel wasn't there yet. So we all know that was the deal, and when they got signed, that was the name of the group, and and then everyone split up, and Tony was doing other things, and Angel was doing really, really well in the Spanish industry, working with big names and managing certain Latin acts. And Kay was the only one that stood around, and he stood around as the Kay, and he wound up. I think he took the name at TKA. And made it into the True Crew Army, and that's them. But the real TK is Tony K, and K knows that. He knows it.
Right.
And so does and Tony. Tony knows. They know the deal. Or Angel and Ava, they all know the deal. So and then so you got the real singers doing their thing, TK, and then you got the True Crew Army with Trey and Los as the True Crew members from TKA, which is True Crew Army spelled TKA. Right. So, and that's it. It's just a legal thing. Fans are confused, but that's what it is. Unfortunately, the fans got to be like scratching their head and they don't know what it is. But it's just a title name, and that's between them and their lawyers or whatever's going on with them. And I love them both. They both know that I'm good friends with each other, so I stay in the middle. I stay neutral.
And thank goodness there's only one George LaMond, right? Nobody can say
that. Oh, my God. I say it every night. Every night I wake up, I'm like, anybody else? Like, I check under the bed, make sure there's not another George LaMond hiding under the bed.
A few years back, there was a contest here, and it was a trivia contest, not on our station, but on another different station. And the contest was like, who sings Battle of the Heart? And the fans were calling in to try to win these tickets to see you. And they said George LaMond. And the guy was like, no, it was Lose Touch. And, man, they got flooded with phone calls and people swearing at them and going crazy. No, you don't know your freestyle. You got to tune into CPR show. What are you talking about,
Yeah. It was Lose Touch was, I was a B-boy. I was a breakdance and graffiti writer. I went to the High School of Art and Design, so I knew how to draw back then. I haven't really brushed up on it. And that's what I used to tag up. I used to tag up Loose 170 from the Bronx. And I just added the touch because Eddie, Joey Kidd, and Kenny were dancing with me at the time. And then they became Loose Touch. It was really George LaMond and Loose Touch. George and Loose Touch. That's what it was. And then I thought it was a group, but those guys couldn't sing. Joey sang, but Joey was already doing his own thing. Joey Kidd was doing his own thing.
What do you think of the freestyle music today? Does anybody catch your ear?
Yeah, actually, there was one song that I heard. I like George Anthony. I love George. George knows that I'm a huge fan of his stuff. I like a lot of stuff that he did. I actually like this girl named Wendy. I don't know if she ever...
Yeah, Wendy. Artistic recordings. She had plenty of songs. I Know, I Want You Back. Yeah. She has a lovely voice.
Right. She's an amazing singer. Also, Cynthia But Willie's Cynthia
Figueroa, Willie Valentine's wife. Yes.
Willie Valentine's, those are the ones that catch my ear that I could think of right now. That's about it. That I could. If I'm leaving anybody else, I'm sorry.
I always hear that the old school generation, quote unquote, don't want to help the new school generation, which is not true because you used to try to collaborate with anyone who was talented. I remember you working with Savour at one time.
Savour was living in Florida at the time, and Savour was working with a distribution company by the name of Mock and Roll, M-O-C-K, like rock and roll. And they did mostly piano music. They had a huge catalog, and they were affiliated with Sony. They were distributed by Sony Latino, and they were getting like tons of records put out. I was the only one that did something, and I think he brought it up to the CEO, and he was like, but I don't do English. He goes, well, let me take care of it, and I'll do it all. And we worked together, man. That album was a really good album. I got to work with, G1E, with Josie, and that's when I, started working more with Jay Adams. And the record was done, and I wrote a lot of stuff on there. And then, unfortunately, he was MIA. About 2 months after the record was released, no one knew where he was. And I got a call that they found him in the apartment, and that's when they knew that he had passed. He got a heart attack, and he was by himself for a couple of days in that apartment, and unfortunately, that's how he passed.
Yeah, to this day, we honor him by playing "Where Do I Belong," and we try to continue the legacy of playing his music. And I know that you were good friends with him too, and I know that was a difficult.
Super nice guy. Super nice guy. I got a quick story, and I may he rest in peace. I hope Savour is listening right now. He's another one story of my life. I always tell people I'm always right there. I've been that artist that I'm right there, and the dream that gets taken away from me. So I got another funny story, and I'll make this real quick. So John Singleton and Frank Reyes were doing a movie called Legal Tenders, and Frank Reyes had called me, and he's like, gee, we're doing this movie, and there's a rapper by the name of Tego Calderon, and we heard this song that you did. It's called Raspa, with K7, and we like it, and we want to use it for this movie. And I'm like, okay. He goes, and then, so he calls into John Singleton on the phone, and John Singleton, he goes, hey, man, George, man, I love your music, man. You got some good pipes, man. I think this is the perfect introduction for the movie. We want to play your song in the movie. Tego Calderon coming in as the big drug dealer in the movie that he's playing. So I said, awesome, let's do it. And they told me what they were going to give me. It wasn't the greatest deal, but you know what? You got to start somewhere, right?
Exactly.
So, Savour, I called Savour back, and we went in the conference call, and I tell Savour, so we got this. He goes, nah, man. With his lisp, because he had a little lisp. He goes, nah, man, we could get some more. I'm telling you, George, we could get some more. And I'm like, I said, nah, I think you're gonna mess this up, John. I think they're giving us a nice, little piece of the publishing and some mechanicals, and forget about the money. The money is what it is, but he goes, nah, do you know that? He goes back to John Singleton.
Oh my God.
And John Singleton goes, yeah, well, you know what? That's not going to happen. You guys just blew your chance. And then he hung up the phone.
Man.
He never had it the record. I said, John, I told you. He goes, man, I thought he was going to bluff.
That happens a lot these days because a lot of the new artists, they hear their songs on the radio and they really go out of their way to contact Fever and man, they give the man an attitude, and then they never get booked by him ever. They don't even have an opportunity to get.
Can I? I'm so glad you touched this, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for Sal. And here's what happened. So he goes, George, I tried booking these acts. I put them on my bill, but I put them on my bill. He says, but the crowd doesn't react to them. The crowd. What happens is if you're going to go on stage, right, and you're going to perform at a concert, and they've never seen you before, you really, really got to bring it. You really got to let them know your value, the asset that you're bringing to this performance. Don't just go up there and think they're just going to sing it okay. No, you got a lot of competition coming up right behind you. You got to set the bar high. So he was like, I'm giving them opportunities, and he booked a lot of them. He goes, but they just don't draw. They don't really they don't take it up a notch. Because what am I supposed to do? I got to book them again, and then they get mad at me that I don't book them. So, I'm playing a little devil's advocate for him. I'm sure not all the acts were like that, but he said most of them were like that. And so that's when you have to understand that you got to make a decision. You want to put a nice concert where you want people sleeping, or you want people applauding and having, and you want to have some great energy.
And again, it's not that it's a business, and people have to be businessmen, businesswomen, and they have to understand that, they have to cover the expenses of renting a place like Madison Square Garden. That's a pretty penny. And so do they book a classic act that people are going to react to, or do they book a new artist that doesn't want to put any work?
Exactly. And if you go up there, you make sure, you leave the foot on that stage. You leave that stage on fire. You bust your butt, and you let people know I was just on the stage. Remember me.
Now, salsa, has gone, to the sour point like freestyle. There's been a lot of bad acts coming out in salsa as well. Do you share that opinion? Do you hear salsa and the new stuff that's been coming out?
No, I disagree. I think salsa right now salsa is never going to go anywhere. Salsa is a staple.
The classic sound of salsa, I love.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's not going nowhere. That's classic. Salsa is a staple. They got a lot of new cats coming out of Cuba. A lot of new guys, young kids coming out of New York, Florida, Puerto Rico, and South America, Central. I mean, they got really, really good acts, even from Europe. It's just that, there's so many coming out that you get one song here, one song there, one song there. And since radio is not pushing it on the airwaves, it's almost like freestyle. You just don't hear it anymore, but it's there. It's there. And if you're a fan, you know who's who, you know where to see them. And when you go to these concerts, these things are still sold out. It's just that, just not on the radio format. It's not broadcasting anymore on the airwaves. That's the only difference. I believe that I think freestyle got stronger.
Yeah, is salsa in your future as well?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was just in the studio today. I'm working on a song. I just got added to this album, which I'm really, really excited about. And it's going to be, it's with Mark Quiñones and Bobby Allende, Ocho y Más. And we redid the vocals today, and I just found out that it got picked up by a major label, and it's going to be released internationally, so I can't wait for it to come out. I can't say much more about it until everything is ready to go, but I'm definitely doing salsa, and Ruben Blades is on the album, so I'm excited.
I just saw Ruben on the Fear of the Walking Dead, man. He was amazing in that show.
Isn't he amazing?
Oh my God.
Man, he's dope. He's dope.
He was my favorite part of the show, and I stopped watching it completely when, spoiler alert, when he got killed off.
I got you.
But man, what a great actor, man. He's just, I love him. Ruben Blades is...
He's an overall beautiful man, and let me tell you, and all these new acts that are coming up, and all these acts that think that they're the ish, let me tell you, when you meet people like Ruben Blades, who have tons and tons of accolades, and Gilberto Santa Rosa, and Celia Cruz, and Tito Nieves, and you see how humble they are when you're backstage, and they talk to you, and they take the minute to walk with you and talk to you. When you look at people like Jerry Rivera, when I see these young kids coming up and I see that they're a little snobby and they think just because they got a record or they think they can wear shades and they look hot walk, I'm like, dude, you got a lot to learn.
And that's happening. Really and that is exactly what's happening right now in freestyle. Like I have a show that's been on FM radio, 4,000 watts for 30 years in Western Massachusetts and Connecticut. And let me tell you, man, you try to push some of the new stuff and some of the new artists, and 1 minute they're good with you, the next minute they're just out there, man. They don't respect anyone. They disrespect the classic acts. They go into places not humbled, or have a song on 90.7, so I don't need to listen to you. And I'm like, wow, man, like, it's crazy. Like, I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. I'm 43 now, and I've been on the radio this whole time. And you coming on my show was like the most nerve-wracking thing I've had to do in a long time, because I have this respect for you, and I can't believe that some of these new artists could actually just go up to you and disrespect you or try, or I was next to Ricky Martin in Miami about
it was about 9 years ago, and it was a record release. It was some sort of record release party or some sort of VIP party. So the people that were there, they were from record labels. Even the execs were jumping all over Ricky Martin. Do you know that guy stood as calm as he could, and he spoke with like 40 people around him, never flinched, he never freaked out. You know, the only time, personally, I would freak out is if a stranger touches me. Because I think anybody that touches anybody else, there's a line of disrespect there. You know, you don't just go out and touch a person just because you think you know them. You know, that's the one thing. So when people say, yeah, don't mess with G, I think everybody would be like that. If someone touches you, I don't know, you're like, excuse me, I don't know you, you know. But I tell the security all the time, I get people, let me do security. I said, for what? I don't have nobody rushing up to me. I could walk through freaking Sears and no one knows who the heck I am until I get spotted. Because a lot of the people are my age now. They're close to my age, and they see me, they'll do a head nod, and they'll be like, hey, George. I'm like, hey, how you doing? My sons are like, you know them? I'm like, no, it's just a fan. You know? So, you know, you don't need to be like that. The day that I can't walk out of my house like the Beatles or Michael Jackson, I wish that day never comes, because that's not fun. I'd rather live the life that I'm living now.
Any words for any aspiring artist?
Yeah. Hone your craft. Don't just release a track and think that it's done. You know, if you hear something wrong with it, you know, fix the drum, fix the snare, fix the kick, fix the bass, fix the bass line, mix it, change it. You know, if you make the mix better, make it. If you think you don't sound right, sing it again. You know, you have so much software that you can use. I mean, I even use Melodyne. You know, we use Melodyne on this track. You know, there was some things that, you know, after a while, you got to make a record perfect. You have to, because I'm confident that when I get on stage, I can sing it perfect. But sometimes you miss the little things, and you're like, you know, I want to get it just right, you know? And you can either use Melodyne to a point. Melodyne is like Auto-Tune, for you people who never heard of it before. It's a software. And what it does is, if you're a little under, you guys won't hear it, but I will. And it just fixes it just perfect, you know? Sometimes you have to use a lot. Sometimes you don't use any at all. Yeah, and in this record, we didn't use much. Carlos Barrios did it. We did it together. And fix your recordings. Make it, give it pride, give it body, give it depth, give it color. You know, make it sound like it's the last record that you're putting out, so that you know it. And experiment. Don't just keep a group going.
Would you consider taking someone under your wing?
Yeah, I've been doing it already. I've been doing it. I just don't. I don't ask for credit. I've worked on many records where they call me in and, you know, can you help me? I'm like, yeah, sure, you know. And I go in, and if they put my record, they'll ask me, can I put your name on it? And the majority of them say, you don't have to. Don't even worry about it. You know. Would I take someone? For me to take someone under my wing, they would have to blow me out of my socks. And I haven't had that. And if I did have someone like that, they're not doing freestyle. They're doing pop.
Well, George LaMond, it's been an honor to have you here on my show. I don't want to keep you. I know that you're a busy man, but what's next for you? Are you going to be doing any shows in Western Massachusetts and Connecticut?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be doing Foxwoods in the summer in Connecticut. I'm going to be doing Coney Island, Amphitheater, the PNC, Nassau Coliseum. There's a lot of shows. I'm going to be in Chicago. I'm actually going to be in the Bahamas. We're doing a freestyle cruise next year with Cynthia out of Port Canaveral in Florida. Me, Judy Torres, Cynthia, Raquel, and Joe Zangi, and Suave. All the money's going to go to Make-A-Wish Foundation, to a family in need, you know, with cancer and stuff like that. So we're donating all that money. And I'm just going to keep bringing music to where the freestyle fans at, and I'm never going to deny it. You know, I always tell people I am freestyle. It's what I am. It's what I've become. And there was a time and place when it was embarrassing to say that name, but I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a freestyle artist, and I'm proud to say that I am freestyle, because freestyle is me.
Well, once again, George LaMond, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. Would you like to say anything else to the audience that's listening right now?
I wanted to tell everyone who's listening, thank you for all the beautiful comments that you just posted for my birthday. All the well wishes, all the nice things that people say about me. I don't take it for granted, and I try to answer everyone, but it could get overwhelming sometimes, so that's why I'm quick with my words. A lot of them say, you don't have much to say, huh? I was like, well, yeah, I have to answer a couple more. That's why but it's always appreciated, and it's humbling, and just thank you for showing me respect and love and being so supportive.
Once again, everybody, that's George LaMond. George, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
We're 90.7 FM, WTCC. That was the one and only George LaMond on Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse podcast.
Trust is only fading now. I don't know what to do. I thought the way you came along, my life was about to change. Instead, I saw that I was wrong. My life was rearranged. How I wonder why you just pushed my love aside. You threw me in the gutter and you left me. That's Joey King. Bed of the heart. Yeah, yeah. You never wanted to start. Loose touch in the house. The heart, yeah, yeah. Ooh. Man. All right, I'm gonna bring out my man Frankie J. Yo, Frankie. Come on, come on. Ha, ha. When I was by your side, you kissed and told me lies. You hurt me each and every day. I've been through the night, lying to myself. Why did it have to be this way? Yeah, yeah. Just sing it one more time, my man. Thought that when you came along, my life was about to change. Still, I saw that I was wrong. My life was rearranged. Now I wonder why you just pushed my love aside. You threw me in the gutter and you left me there tonight. Bed of the heart. Come on. You never wanted to start. Yeah, yeah, oh, bed of the heart.
man's heart one day beats its final beat. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, then his essence, his spirit, will be immortalized forever.
Baby, I'm loving the way that you hold me. I'm high off the things that you told me. You got me feeling like I'm your number one. I don't want the kind of love that's temporary. All I want, I want a legendary love.
Clubhouse Dance Music.
It's making me crazy. Love at first sight. When I saw you that night.
Clubhouse Dance Music.
You listen to me, you go to the top. You don't listen to me, you're never heard from again.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
We're 90.7 FM, WTCC. It's CPR with you, and it's time for CPR's Top 10 Countdown, the amended version. At number 10 this week is Louis Marte and The Light, the NSR remix. At number 9 is the Santana Twins featuring A.B. and it was Love. At number 8, it's Audi Medina and Red Stripes for 2 weeks in a row. At number 7, Damien Hipnotizado. At number 6, Jacqueline Rose featuring the LSP. And nothing left to say right now. We're going to kick off the countdown with number 5 right here on the only Top 10 Countdown in all of freestyle that matters.
Number 5.
At number 5 this week, you voted for it, is the King, Stevie B. Something he entitles You're Gonna Be Mine. It's number 5 this week on CPR's Top 10 Countdown. Available on iTunes Podcast app, Google Play Music, and also available on the TuneIn Radio app on demand.
Number 5.
When we first connected, the feeling was
complain all you want. If you're a freestyle artist, this is the countdown that you want to be on at CPR's Top 10 Countdown. At number 5 this week, Stevie B, You Gon' Be Mine. The votes have been tabulated. Here's number 4 this week. It's Susan Santiago. And this is Fly Away.
Number 4.
CPR's Top 10 Countdown. At number 5 this week, it's Stevie B, and You're Gonna Be Mine. Number 4 is Susan Santiago and Fly Away. And right now, at number 3 this week, it's Cito. Cito from Pain, and this is Share a Night.
Number 3.
Come and give me one more.
FM, WTCC, and CPR with you, Clubhouse Dance Music, and of course, the CPR's Clubhouse podcast. Speaking of Todd Terry, these are the skeleton beats for the freestyle compilations that he put out a few years back. Big shout out going out to Todd Terry, and a big shout out going out to George LaMond, who joined us live right here at 90.7 FM, WTCC. And if you haven't heard the interview, well, you can find it on the CPR's Clubhouse podcast, on iTunes podcast app, also on Google Play Music, and also you can find us on the TuneIn Radio app. Big shout out going out to Alex Sanchez, DJ Lex, the Lexicon from ExtremeMixRadio.com. Big shout out going out to him. Thank you so much for carrying the signal. Also, shout out going out to G.A. George Anthony, the most beautiful bell in the ball right now, because he made the George LaMond list. I think George LaMond is artistic for life. He said Wendy, George Anthony, and Cynthia Figueroa. Yeah, he got good taste like me. Big shout out go out to Kuala Bay, Alyssa B, Benny Gonzalez, Saul Posada, Tommaso Rochello, also Carmen Santiago, Danny Sabian Rivera, also Maria De Jesus Caballero, shout out going out to you. Eric Medina, my buddy, my pal. E! Shout out going out to Bruni De Leon, Jose Gonzalez. Thank you for the WWE package you sent me. I appreciate it. I was working out last night. Yeah, I know. You can tell. I had a Goldberg shirt on. Nobody would approach me in the gym. Well, maybe it's because I had the Twinkie holders on my side. But whatever. Shout out going to Shem Zaya, Angelo L. Ortiz, Janet Ayala, shout out going out to you. Becky Ortiz, how are you? Mary Luz Rodriguez, hello. Also to Tony Hernandez, Kay Rivera, Cynthia Rojas, Iris Martinez, Marisol Riggins. Also shout outs going out to Bobby Balderas. Shout outs going out to Cindy M. Cornoyer, Richard BPR Amen, Rosemary LaBoy, Jenny Diaz, Sammy Aviles, also to Marlene Cosme, Barbara Nelson, Danny Zayas. Shout-outs go out to Myrta Correa Rodriguez. Also shout-outs go out to La Estrella. Also to Gabrielle Runatiliano. I hope I got that right. Also shout-outs go out to Rose City Graphics, Manuela Zuniga, D'Antoni, Wilmer Monastero, Luis Martinez, D. Torres, Rich Cruz, Jessica Cruz, Ruben Rodriguez. Did I miss anyone? Melissa Sarah. Shout out going on to you as well. And if I missed anyone, blame my mind, not my heart. Your votes have been tabulated. Here's number 2 this week on CPR's Top 10 Countdown.
Number 2.
At number 2 this week is the Unstoppable remake. It's Rolando Montalvo and The Promise. Big shout outs going out to Arnie Rodriguez, my heart, my soul, my mentor.
If you need a friend, a stranger. You know in the end, I'll always be there. But when you're in doubt, and when you're in danger, take a look all around, and I'll be there. Well, sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be, but if you wait around the while, I'll make you for free. I promise you I will. When your day is through, and so is your temper, you know what to do. I'm gonna always be there. Sometimes if I shout, it's not what's intended. These words just come out with no cross to bear. Well, sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be, but if you wait around the while, I'll make you for free. I promise you. I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be, and if I had to walk the world and make you for free, I promise you I will. Well, sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be, but if you wait around the while, I'll make you for free. I promise you. I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be, and if I had to walk the world and make you for free, I promise you I
And now, the most requested song on Clubhouse Dance Music. Number one.
At number one this week, do I even have to mention this song anymore? It's not even fair. At number one this week for 9 weeks in a row, it's Alyssa B featuring Charlie Baby. It's legendary. Number one on CPR's Top 10 Countdown. You know the rest, right? Yes, you do.
I don't want the kind of love that's temporary. All I want's the kind of love that's legendary. Baby, I'm loving the way that you hold me. I'm high off the things that you told me. You got me feeling like I'm your number one. Oh, baby, I want this to last me forever. So heavenly when we're together. There's nothing better than when we're having fun. But I can't cross the line. I need more than a thrill to pass the time. I want something that's real and so divine. I'll surrender my all, but there's one thing you should know before I fall. I don't want the kind of love that's temporary. All I want's the searching for that extraordinary one. I want a legendary love.
And now, the most requested song on Clubhouse Dance Music. Number one. Number one.
Bandits, one more time. The crazy Puerto Rican. CPR Jose Ortiz is in the building. Gem and Freestyle in New England. And now, the world.
B. It's reversed. This is Tell Me, right here on Clubhouse Dance Music. Don't forget, CPR's Clubhouse, the podcast on iTunes Podcast app, Google Play Music, and of course, TuneIn Radio App on demand. Right now, it's TKA featuring our guest this week, George LaMond. This is Mama.
You're listening to Clubhouse Dance Music.
It's your baby boy, the one who learned to run, the one you taught to love. Do you recognize me? Or does it all fade away? Your mind just ain't the same. Tell me, mama, do you know? Just say my name. Mama, look at me. Please respond to me. It's the child that you brought into this world. I'm lonely. Do you recognize me? Or does it all fade away? Your mind just ain't the same. Tell me, mama, do you notice me? Road might be long, but just hold on, I'll guide you. Heartbroken and lost, but I stand right beside you. Mama, I'm weary, I'm so confused. I wanna take away the pain, but don't know what to do. Do you recognize me? Or does it all fade away? Your mind just ain't the same. Tell me, mama, do you notice me? Mama, don't forget me. Mama, don't forget me. Mama, please remember. Please remember. Mama, keep on fighting. Keep on fighting. Don't let go of the memory. Tell me, mama. Tell me, mama. Tell me, mama. Do you know it's me? Tell me, mama. Tell me, mama. Tell me, mama. Do you notice me? I hope that deep inside you know it's me. I'm crying. Tell me, mama, do you notice me?
Well, Springfield, that about wraps it up for me here on Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse podcast. I want to thank George LaMond for joining us and everyone who tuned in, leaving you with Without You by George LaMond. Remember what I always tell you, it's not who you love, it's how. We'll talk to you soon from Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse podcast.
There's no one who could ever love me like you love me. I remember how it used to be. There was no stronger love. And now I can't believe I was only too blind to see that your love is inside of me. And now I don't have anything
You're listening to Clubhouse Dance Music.